Good morning, grade 7 students. This is Miss Moni. Today we're going to start our second book, Environmental Science, Chapter 2, Ecosystems and Biomes. Please open your books to page 42, Lesson 1, Energy Flow in Ecosystems. The objectives of the lesson. In this lesson, we are going to explain what is meant by an ecosystem. We are also going to identify the energy roles that organisms play in an ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? An ecosystem is a community of living organisms in conjunction with the non-living components of their environment interacting as a system. What makes up an ecosystem? We have two things that make up an ecosystem: all living things such as plants, animals, bacteria, and humans, and the non-living things such as soil, rocks, sun, and water. There are two main types of ecosystems: the terrestrial and the aquatic ecosystems. Terrestrial ecosystems can be found on land. Aquatic ecosystems can be found in water. Ecosystems can be more specifically classified based on what kinds of species and plants are interacting within the ecosystem, as well as climate and other environmental factors. Energy roles in an ecosystem. What are energy roles? Each organism has a role in the movement of energy through its ecosystem. An organism's energy role is determined by how it obtains energy and how it interacts with other organisms. Each of the organisms in the ecosystem fills the energy role of producer, consumer, or decomposer. The first energy role is filled by producers. A producer is an organism that can make its own food. They produce energy from a source, either the sunlight or another energy source around them. Producers are often called autotrophs. They act as a source of food for other organisms. Examples of producers are plant and bacteria. The second energy role is filled by consumers. Consumers are members of the ecosystem that cannot make their own food. They obtain food by feeding on other organisms around them. Consumers are classified by what they eat. They are divided into four main categories. The first category of consumers are called herbivores. Herbivores are consumers that eat only plants, such as caterpillars and deer. Carnivores are another type of consumers that eat only animals. Lions and tigers are examples of carnivores. Omnivores are also consumers that eat both plants and animals, such as crows, bears, and most humans. Some carnivores are scavengers, and these organisms feed on the bodies of dead organisms, such as catfish, vultures, and hyenas. The fourth type of energy role is filled by decomposers. If the ecosystem had only consumers and producers, the raw materials of life would be locked up in waste. Luckily, we have another type of organisms that fill the ecosystem. These are called decomposers. Decomposers break down wastes and dead organisms and return the raw materials to the ecosystem. They can be thought of the nature's recyclers. Mushrooms, worms, and bacteria act as decomposers. As a conclusion, an ecosystem is a community of living organisms in conjunction with the non-living components of their environment interacting as a system. Each organism has a role in the movement of energy through its ecosystem, and each of the organisms in the ecosystem fills the energy role of producer, consumers, or decomposers. As an assignment for next time, please study pages 42 and 43 from the book and copy notes on your copybook, and check the slides below to highlight the required information on your books. Thank you.